Morning. How are you? Sitting here in my flower patch, enjoying the beautiful weather we have today. I love spring, my favorite time of the year, and then I like fall. You can have summer. Well, in my devotional today, another short one I wanted to share with you, I wanted to read a little excerpt from Rick Joyner, and you know I like what he writes. This was again from the study on Revelation. You can find that on his website. And this was about the path of life. I thought this was encouraging. He said, the path of life is just that. The path of life is abundance. When we are on the path, we become increasingly alive because we get closer to the Prince of Life. Now, love is the basic food that we partake on this path. As we walk it, we grow continually in our love for God and for one another. As we grow in this, we begin to see events and other people through the eyes of redemption, recon- reconciliation, and restoration. This sums up the purpose of Christ in this age. This does not mean we don't see other people sin. Neither will we overlook their deceptions or their false teachings and practices if they have them. Yet we see to help them, not condemn them. Jesus did not come the first time to condemn the world. It was already condemned. He came to save it. He's not coming back to condemn it, but to restore all things. Isn't that good? So when you find yourself being critical, remember, it's not how Jesus wants us to be. He wants to come to bring us life and to give it to us more abundantly. Joel 2:25. I like this scripture. And before I share this with you, I want to tell you about a dream I had. I had such a busy week. This last week or two have been almost more than I could bear. Yet each event, other than the dentist, were wonderful events. But I was so tired and so worn out. And so one night I was sleeping, and um, my sister was coming the very next day. And I was dreaming that she came and brought two huge suitcases. Not the little ones that you travel with, but these were great big ones you might take on a boat or something. And they were filled with, are you ready? Donuts. Yes, donuts. The Amish kind, the big ones. Well, in this dream, I remember looking at them and she told me, go ahead and have some donuts. Well, then I woke up. Didn't get a donut, didn't get a taste. But I was walking in that morning getting things ready, and I said, Lord, what was that all about? Do I really want a donut? Well, let's face it, I would have eaten one if I'd had it. But that was not what the dream was about. The Lord spoke to me and told me He was going to give me double blessings. And I thought about that. Does God do that? Does He give us things? He does. And many times the blessing we need is restoration. We need to have things we've done forgiven by other people. We need to forgive others. That's part of a blessing. When you're able to go and live past whatever problem you've had, that's a blessing. Sometimes your blessings are like mine today. My daughter gave me this great coffee pot. And not only does it make coffee, but it has a frother on it and this little bitty espresso maker. What a blessing. And she gave it to me, and I'm so happy with it. But that's a material thing. A greater blessing is when the Lord restores to us what we need, our peace, our joy, our happiness. And I always check when I've had a dream or I've had a thought, I always check scripture to make sure I'm not just going half-cocked crazy somewhere. Well, Joel 2:25 said, I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten, the cankerworm and the caterpillar, and the palmer worm. And he said, my great army which I sent among you. Well, this part of the scripture that I want to look at is that I will restore to you the years that the locust has taken. Many times in our lives we feel cheated. We feel robbed. It could be from a situation, perhaps the years you've worked, all those years that you had to sit in a job perhaps you didn't care for, or the time you had to spend taking care of someone who wasn't appreciative. These are things that are difficult, aren't they, in our lives? But the Lord wants to restore to us our joy, our happiness, and most importantly, our peace. And He does this, of course, by when we serve Him. He just drops blessings upon us. He said He'll give us blessings when we tithe that we can't even contain. One way to receive this joy from the Lord and this peace is to study His Word. I know I sound like a broken record, but I want you to know that His Word is just that. It's what He's saying to you and I. So today, let the Lord give you 2 suitcases of donuts or blessings. Take them, thank Him, because He loves you. And I love you too. And I remain your friend, lanaddee.